Welcome! We're outside today on the back sun porch, and we're in the middle of several projects, but I was gifted some ugly food yesterday, and I want to show you the ugly food. This is a cabbage. Some folks would see this and maybe just pitch it because the outer leaves have begun, you know, to shrivel up. Here's two really nice onions that I was given, and I got 6 apples, and of the 6, these are the 2 that have the most bruises. Yeah, they're maybe not the prettiest, although I have seen much worse. And today we're going to use these to create 2 quart jars of delicious probiotic sauerkraut. The next step is to rinse off the apples. Since I didn't grow them myself, I want to clean them of all the city dirt that might be on them. And so I use distilled white vinegar and some tap water. I'll rinse them off and dry them with a clean cloth. I don't need to wash off the cabbage and the onions because we will be removing the top layers and getting to the good clean vegetables underneath those top layers. Okay, on the half chance that some of you have never peeled a cabbage before, let's take a look. I hope you can see that underneath this kind of yellow and brown shell, we've got a really nice, delicate, oh baby, look at that. Look how nice and green and soft and smooth that is underneath there. I always take, when I get down to the green, I always take one additional layer off because, like I said, I'm a little bit persnickety. So I am. See, there's a little bit more right there, so I'm gonna remove one more section. All right, so there's now no imperfections. I've got a beautiful little cabbage head. Woo, woo, woo. Now, for an onion, sometimes your hand just won't get it. It just doesn't want to come off because onions, wow, nature really puts really strong shells on these guys. So you might need a knife. Now, this is my favorite knife in the whole planet. I got it out in Amish country, and I spent the extra money and I bought the little sharpener, which has just these 2 little discs on it that roll, and you go like that, and oh my word, woo, it's incredible. That'll just cut through anything. And this is about 20 years old, this knife. Okay, so once it's nice and sharp, you cut off the bottom and you cut off a little bit of the top like this. And look, you get this really cool milky stuff, which is so filled with wonderful juice. I love to put it on my old lady skin. Oh, my skin just loves to drink onion juice. Okay, so, each person does it a little bit differently, but you gotta find a way to get this outer shell off. And okay, let's just try and cut it in half and see if, oh man, oh my gosh, the onion juice. Woo, 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 woo. They say never put anything on your skin that you wouldn't eat, because your skin is the largest organ of your whole body, and she likes to eat good stuff. All right. Okay, so there you have it. The onion is peeled. Put all these scrap layers in your compost. All right, now we need to talk about salt, which is the preservative that gets used to make this all-natural sauerkraut that we're making today. You have your choice. The only thing is you have to be careful you're not using table salt. You want to use either the pickling and canning salt that you see on the left here, or what I'm going to use today, which is my Redmond real salt that I have found. It's an American-made product with absolutely no additives. It comes from an ancient seabed that was found in North America, in Utah, and long before the earth knew any pollution, volcanic eruptions sealed this ancient seabed, and it was found by accident, I guess, in the 1970s. And so this company has been simply pulverizing it and selling it to the world. But it does have mineral deposits in it, and you can see that. And I actually want those minerals. I want that calcium. I want that iron. I want that magnesium. I want that zinc. I want that in my body. I'm trying to replenish my bones and system with minerals that have been depleted in our soil. So I use it. Now, the only downside is that when you use the real salt, the minerals will put little brown markings on the cabbage. And so it may not look beautiful when it's done. So go ahead and put 1 heaping tablespoon of your chosen salt into a small dish. Okay, now the real fun comes. This is where we get to start to shred. We're going to shred, and we're going to put our shredded cabbage and apples and onions into a non-metallic bowl. All right, so I went ahead and I sharpened my favorite big knife, and I'm going to start over here with the cabbage. So the first thing I'm going to do is slice off that bottom, and that will go in the compost. Okay, now let's see. Our goal here is to get this puppy shredded. So I'm going to cut it in half so it's a little bit more manageable. There you can see all the beautiful swirls and cleanliness. Nature really did a great job on this particular plant. Okay, so then I'll lay it flat like that, and I'm going to make sure you can see here. I'm just going to cut off, maybe 1/4 inch shreds, maybe even 1/8 inch shreds like this. And what happens, because of the way the cabbage is formed, look at all those wonderful little strands of chopped good stuff. All right, so I'm going to just keep doing this and doing this. Okay, now just in case I maybe don't want pieces this long coming out of my jar when it's all fermented, if I want to, I can cut them into smaller pieces so that, I won't get these big long sauerkraut strings. It's entirely up to you. All right, so you're gonna put those in there like that, and then you want to move over to your salt, and you're gonna put a little pinch of salt in there. The salt needs to kind of get on the surface area of all the individual, vegetable pieces. It's going to do some magic in a minute, but I'll tell you about that. Now we're going with the onion here. Same deal, nice little 1/4 inch pieces, and I'm gonna separate them like this into their cute little strands. All right, mix it all up. This is so fun to do with your kids or neighborhood friends. You could have a sauerkraut making party. Put on some good tunes, maybe drink a little bit of wine, maybe smoke some medical marijuana, sit everybody down with their own cutting board or their own cabbage. Oh, you could run a neighborhood class on this if you wanted to. All right, now feels like it needs a little bit more salt. you should be able to feel those grains of salt in there. Okay? And now let me grab one of these apples. Okay? All right. Now we don't want to necessarily get the core in there, so I'm gonna cut the core out. And again, that'll be composted. Okay, so I'll go ahead and I'll take my smaller knife and I'm just gonna cut this into nice little manageable pieces. And this will add a little bit, it's gonna add a little bit of color. Apple is optional, onion is optional. There are lots of folks who makes sauerkraut with just cabbage and salt, period. That's it. And but I was, like I said, I was given these things, and by George, by Jingo, I want to use them. Okay. All right, so let's get those in there. Nice fine little pieces. All righty. Stir it around, give it a feel. Can't feel too much salt, so I'm going to add a little bit more salt. And we will continue on with all the rest of the vegetables in this manner. And by the time we're done, all that salt will be nice. All right, this is the part that I really like. I like it all, but this is cool. Now, you've got your mixture in your glass bowl or your non-metallic bowl, and it's time to jar it up. So here is a wide mouth, clean mason jar. And I'm gonna take my wooden spoon and I'm gonna fill it about a third of the way up. Okay? Now, here's the magic. This is the magical part. Sauerkraut, this cabbage, has its own wonderful juices like we saw come out of the onion. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna push it down until it starts to make its own juice. It will mix with it's gonna mix with the grains of the salt, and those grains of the salt are gonna tear the outer fibers of the sauerkraut a little bit, allowing the moisture that's inherent inside of the vegetable to come out. And you're going to be able to see, oopsie, there's a little bit on the outside. You're going to be able to see after too long a layer of white milky deliciousness at the bottom. You know what? I'm just going to use my hand. My hands are clean. All right. All right, now I'm going to fill it up about halfway, and I'm going to pound, pound, pound. I can imagine my German ancestors sitting around a fire in the evening with their crocks and their nice big wooden pounders, just pounding and pounding, and talking about the day and what's been going on in town, and you know, just, oh my gosh. Oh yeah. Yeah, let's see, is it pouring out yet? Nah, oh, not quite yet. Now remember, this cabbage was, I don't know how long it had been off of the vine, so it might have dried up a little bit, but oh no, oh no. There, you just gotta see that. Can you see the liquid in there? All right, time to put some more in. All righty. Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay, now remember, of course, everything's clean. This is a rag towel I have over the table, but of course it's been freshly laundered. My hands are clean, the bowl's clean, you know. So if a little bit falls onto the countertop, before you even started, you cleaned your countertop. Oh yeah. It makes a very pleasing, satisfying sound as you do this. Yep. I bet you we're gonna get this whole bowl into this quart. Just have a feeling. Just have a feeling it's all gonna fit. And that means I will get 2 quarts, because this is only half a cabbage. This means I'll get 2 quarts off of 1 cabbage head, 1 or 2 apples, and 2 big onions. Oh, this is gonna be so good. Now the thing about this is that cabbage, sauerkraut, this will naturally ferment. It's going to naturally ferment, which means it's going to naturally preserve itself. It will not need to be refrigerated. Although I'll be honest with you, my years of living with refrigeration, once it's done fermenting in about 2 weeks to a month from now, it can be eaten at any time, but the flavor will just keep getting better and better the longer you let it ferment. Warmish, like 65 degrees to maybe 80 degrees. Just on your counter with a light lid on top of it. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, just look at that. All right, okay, even in the bowl, just sitting in the bowl, here, take a look here. Just sitting in the bowl, we've got liquid. I have added no extra liquid here. It's coming straight from the cabbage and the salt itself. If you wanted to top this off, you could mix 1 teaspoon to 1 cup of salt to 1 cup of water. Nice warm water so that all the salt dissolves, and then you could top this off. However, I think I'm just going to bring the sauerkraut the whole way to the top because I'm a purist. And then with what's left over, I'll make it. I'm at the top now. I just want to show you this liquid. You see how the liquid, this, I added nothing. This is all out of the vegetables that I put in here. So you want to have the liquid cover up, be as close to the top as you can reasonably get it, and the liquid covers the vegetables. At this point, you have your choice. You can take a plastic lid and lightly put it on top so that, because you see these bubbles there, that means it's already starting to ferment. And it's going to bubble and produce a little bit of gas. So that gas has to have some place to escape, otherwise the jar will explode. So you can lightly put the lid on, or they sell these little funky things. I got hookered into buying a couple of these. Look at this, how this works. There's a little cap on the inside, all right? And then there's a tiny hole, and you put this on and you screw it on, okay? And then you've got this hole right here for the gas to escape, and you put this light thing on top of the hole, and so this little contraption is supposed to help you ferment, but they're kind of expensive. But if you want to go that route, to keep insects and stuff out, go for it. Okay, stick it on your counter and let it sit for 2 weeks. Then you open it up and take a look and test it. If it's of the right sourness to you, if you really like it, then you can go ahead and cap it. If it's not, put it back lightly under lid and let it sit for another week. And just keep trying it until it gets to where you think it tastes absolutely fantastic. After your tasting, you're test tasting, you finally have it exactly where you like it, you know it's time to cap. So you just get yourself a little plastic lid and twist it till it's nice and firmly on there. Not too firm, just nice and firmly. And you stick it on your shelf in your cupboard. You won't have to refrigerate it until it's opened.